So as promised in this video, I'm going to do a full breakdown of my kayak with all the safety equipment, clothes that I wear, and the fishing tackle that I bring out with me. And obviously this changes depend on what I'm targeting, but I'll show you the basic setup that I take. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the kayak. Okay, so my kayak is a 4.5 meter long Viking kayak called a Reload. Now I've had this kayak for about 5 years now, and I absolutely love it. You know, sometimes you buy something and you wish you'd gone for a different model. Various types of kayak made by Viking, and this is the Reload, and I wouldn't want to swap it for any other kayak. There's some smaller versions, some lighter versions. The Reload is quite long. I just love it. Once it's in the water, it just moves along so well. I'm just so pleased. Okay, so starting off, we've got the fish finder. So it's so much better because you can see what's underneath, both for catching fish and also for anchoring. So you've got a reef underneath. You don't really want to be anchoring on top of a reef. So this is my tackle pod. So I keep everything inside the tackle pod underneath here. So these actually come out. You can actually lift these ones out. And underneath here I've got the transducer. Now my cables, I heat seal them, cover them with tape, and then I've got the connection here that just screws onto my battery, and I've got a lithium battery. So I used to have lead batteries, but they're really, really heavy and they just don't seem to last as long. I've got 3 rods here that I fish with, and I'll explain a little bit about those rods. So I've got 2 Pen rods and 2 Finor reels. Right, so this is my Finor, so it's a 5'6" Finor rod with an overhead reel. It's an OFC 20H offshore reel with a 60-pound braid. So this is my newest rod, thanks to my sister who bought it for me for my birthday. Thanks so much indeed, Lou. So this rod here we got is an ugly stick. So it's 2.4 meters, quite long for the kayak on a boat, but I use it for casting out. So if I'm going to be doing a bit of spinning and I want to get a bit of distance. So this one here, and on top of that one is a Pen reel. So I've got a Pen Fierce 3 5000, and that's got 40-pound braid. Now the other Pen rod I've got is a 5 foot 60-pound braid ugly stick, and this is my newest reel, and it's a Finor Mega Light 100, and that is really doing the business. It caught me a couple of really good fish last week. Now this is the seat nice and easy, and then chili pod at the back. So I put everything in there: ice, bait, drinks, if I've got any chilled food that I want to put in there. And then I've got a running rig. So the running rig goes down the length of the kayak, and I just attach this one to my anchor. Now all the rods are leashed onto the kayak, so it's really, really important that they're leashed onto the kayak. With these compartments, I use this one here for my anchor, and the other side I use to put an extra jacket or jumper or anything else, depending on the conditions. Now at the back we've got a flag with a light, and that will really depend on what time of day I'm fishing, whether I'm going out very early in the morning, which is most of the time, or if I'm going to be doing a night fish, then I'm going to need this one as well. It's got a massive compartment at the front, and there, if I'm going to stay anywhere overnight, that's going to be where my camping equipment is. I keep a second oar in there as well, and I could also keep a small rod and reel in that one as well. Now when it comes to my paddle, everything's leashed up again. Very important to have that one leashed up and connected, and don't try and save any money when it comes to the leashes. So although this one looks a bit old, it is old, it's good quality. So I use this one for the oar. Really good. Got the boom here that's for my GoPro, and I've got another one that fits at the front. Now I've also got one of these, and that I use a rail blazer, and I just use that one for fishing on the side. I'll start off with the safety gear. Now, although it doesn't seem part of the safety, one of the most important things you want to have when you're out on the kayak is water. So I always take a couple of flasks of water, and I also take, especially this time of year in New Zealand, plenty of suntan solution. So those are both 50 plus. And I also take this one as well, which is for mosquitoes, because they can be very frustrating and them biting on your ankles. I use a mallet sometimes, and I've also got, this is my lithium battery. So this one's absolutely fantastic. It's a 7 amp battery. I've never had the battery run out, and sometimes I'm out on the water for up to like 7 or 8 hours, and I've never had it run out. But it does just run my fish finder. I've got a head torch with extra batteries, so I always have extra batteries just in case. And then I've got flares. So I won't take out all 3 flares. This is a smoke flare. They're all handheld flares. And these are red, 2 reds and an orange flare. If I'm going out quite far, I'll take all 3, but normally I'll just take 1 or maybe 2 flares, depending on where I'm going. Now, one thing that's really saved my life, especially in Taranaki when I got stuck out there with a friend, not my doing, but this one was very beneficial. Radio, VHF radio, very, very important. I also take out my mobile. So that day in particular, we used the radio to give the coordinates. I couldn't actually get a signal on the radio, but I was able to use my mobile and use my radio for the coordinates, which meant the helicopter came straight to me. Then the knife, I just attached the knife to my leg so that if I get chucked out the kayak, I've got something that's going to be able to cut all the lines, because you'll have everything leashed onto the kayak. And if you tip over, obviously those leashes might hold you under the water, so I keep that there. Pliers, very, very important. You're catching some fish and that, you don't want to get your hands too close to those sharp teeth, so pliers for taking out the hooks. And I've also got this as well, which is very useful if I want to keep the fish and just put it back, catch the fish and put it back, should I say. I've used this, put that around the lips and that, so I don't touch the gills. Then I take out tracer, so 2 lots of extra line. I've got 60-pound trace, and then this one is very nice by Black Magic, is fluorocarbon. So although it's 30 pounds, being fluorocarbon is the equivalent to like 50 or 60. Little tackle thing. I don't really take much stuff in here, but a few hooks, weights, a couple of snapper lines there. That's about it really. And then the various different types of fishing that you might, I mean, I've put a selection here, but it really would depend on what I'm fishing. So I've got quite a few lures that I'm going to be trawling out the back. Then I've got soft baits here. And I keep everything in either plastic containers, like so, or I put everything into zip type freezer bags, just to keep everything nice and watertight. Various types of these lures. These ones are really nice. My favourite is the Rapala and the Edge. So this one, the Edge, has caught 3 kingfish, and this Rapala just continuously catches fish. Then I've got spinning lures, some squid lures and jigs, and then I've got jigging rigs as well, which will be really good. This one here the other day caught quite a couple of really decent fish. And then I've got all my snapper rigs in there as well. So when it comes to the fishing part of it, that's my gear. So I've got everything from the water, to the suntan solution, to the radio, and the lights that I need. Then I've got the flares, extra line that I need. I also take this thing here, which is for scaling the fish. Always find it easier to like gut and scale on the boat if I can. And then all the various fishing lures and tackle. Now when it comes to anchoring up, I've got a 45 meters on this anchor and a lot of chain. So my advice, get a really decent amount of chain. So I've got 2.5 meters of chain on that anchor. Then I've got the burley. So this is the cage for the burley. This is another net I've got. I normally go with, I've got a couple of decent nets here. And this is the buoy that I connect to my anchor. And this is the drone chute. So if I'm going to be just drifting in the water, this is my drone chute as well. It's got the drone chute. And again, it just depends on, you know, if you're going to be doing that type of fishing, otherwise you wouldn't take it with you. I tend to take more stuff than I need just in case. A quite good quality life jacket, although I am in the search for a new life jacket. So in the next couple of weeks I'll be getting that. And then when it comes to what I wear, I always wear like swimming shorts and a couple of t-shirts. And then I wear a wetsuit. So the thickness on this wetsuit is a 3.2 wetsuit, and that's just made by Peak. Now, I take a couple of jackets. Now, one of the jackets I wear most of the time, and that's made by a company called HKO. And the other jacket that I've got here, which is a bit cheaper, I put this one in the kayak just in case. And of course, I was lucky the other day because I forgot this jacket because it was on the washing line. And this one was on storage, which saved me really because it was getting quite cold last Saturday. Now I also take diver boots. So these are the diver boots, and honestly, brilliant purchase and that though, you know, fantastic. In fact, somebody bought me those for Christmas, so that was really nice. Now when it comes to what to wear on your head, depends on the conditions. So very sunny day, I'll wear this one. Medium sunny day, I'll wear this baseball cap, and on a cold day I'll wear this beanie with the best football team in the world on the front, which could be debatable for some of viewers. And so this is the gear, this is my whole setup. And of course it depends on what you're going to be catching, will depend on how much stuff you're going to be taking out. I mean, I'm going to go out with a friend at the weekend. We're just going to be trawling most of the time. We're not going to take out any bait at all. We're literally going to just be using lures and trolling. And so I'm going to be taking a lot less stuff, and there'll be no bait. And the idea is you want to keep the kayak nice and light because you're going to be paddling a lot. And so this is my gear, my full setup. Now another thing that's really important on the kayak is having a gaiter. So a gaiter, it gets really hot out there on the boat, but more importantly in New Zealand, you can easily burn yourself. The UV is very dangerous in New Zealand. Burn yourself in less than an hour. So having a gaiter, and gaiter sometimes keeps you warm as well, so always have a gaiter. I always take a couple of gaiters. The other thing you want as well is good quality gloves. So I see a lot of people go out with shorts and t-shirts and no gloves. I don't know how they do it, because I just get blisters on my hands if I don't wear gloves. I wear these for fishing as well. They're actually proper spinning gloves. They've got the index finger, middle finger longer on the glove. And these ones I bought the other day, and they're absolutely fantastic. So they're by Aftico, and I bought those recently, and I just love them, absolutely love them. Now, as with anything, this will be personal to myself and what I've learned over the years. I'm definitely no expert at kayak fishing, but I've been fishing for quite a few years now, and I fish with guys that really know their stuff, so I've just picked up stuff along the way. And I think that's the thing, like, you learn as you go away. Unfortunately for myself, I learned by getting into trouble a few times, so I wouldn't advise doing that. It's also not fair for the people that come out to save you as well. And this is my kayak, the third love of my life. Family. Okay, so that's me on Family Kitchen with Mark. It is a gorgeous day here in New Zealand. I wish I would have been out there in the water. I'm actually working from home at the moment. We are isolating. My girlfriend had COVID. We've got until next Tuesday isolating at home. I'm going crazy in the house. Good to get out at the moment just for half an hour and that on the lunch break until I go back to work. But yeah, this is the kayak and this is the setup. So hopefully this helps people that are new to kayak fishing, because I know when I first started kayak fishing, I didn't know exactly what to take out, and most of the time I'd prioritise the fishing over the safety, whereas it should really be the other way around. You know, if my advice is, you know, save money on rods and reels and get the right safety equipment. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.